As we said, motivation defines our maturity. Let's ask a simple question. Why, for everything we do, to become aware of the ego challenges behind manifestation itself? Ego challenges are a mirror of our inner world. If we realize our look is very important to us because we are tied to the idea of aesthetic beauty, through self-examination we can comprehend we are afraid of other people's opinion. If we become aware of many conflicts in life, perhaps, through self-examination, we will realize that the causes are selfishness. Ego challenges are normal and common. It's normal to get attached to everything around us. It's normal to procrastinate difficult things or have a little self-doubt. Selfishness is a disease of the modern age. It is normal to sometimes create illusions because reality is too difficult for us. Correct, it is normal and usual, but not right and true. So let's get to know what the truth is, that is, what ego challenges rules us. We don't act and face our ego fears for the same reason everyone else does. Because we are not sure that now is the right time, and because we do not know what will happen and how much the change will cost. We would actually like to control what happens and what doesn't, as if it depends on us. And we are right. Following the truth, as we said, can come with a cost. Cost of losing relationships, money, security, or trust. Nothing is free, and certainly not our maturation. That's why we are all in this school called life. We go through life from challenge to challenge, and it is up to us how much we will bend to that challenge or stay on the path of truth. And that path of truth will always lead us to a safe and warm place and will always work for us, if we just don't ask how it will happen. That's why we need to let go ego need for control. We just need to have faith in following the truth. For example, we have to do or say something right and true, but we don't know what the reaction of the other side will be. An aggressive ego will start communication with arguing, and a passive ego will avoid communication or distort the truth to soften a potential reaction. Or we meet a person we like, and out of fear of loneliness or insecurity, we want to control that person so they don't leave us. Because of this fear, the aggressive ego will say, "You can't go out," and try to control what the person does. From the same fear, the passive ego will say to himself, "I can't go out," to prevent the person from being dissatisfied with him and not leaving him. With this need for control, we deviate from the path of the truth and allow our ego to strengthen and hide our souls even more. And that path will lead us to dissatisfaction and quarrels, to a state of ego. Not only that, we will deviate from the path we were truly supposed to take, and this was just an opportunity to overcome, in this case, our fear of loneliness or insecurity. It would be correct if we followed the path of truth without adopting to our own or other people's ego, and thus mature, facing our fear of loneliness or insecurity. In this way, we reject the need for control, because we are focused on our correctness and truth, and not on our reactions, for example, whether it is difficult for us or not. Or to the reaction of others to the truth, in this case, whether that person will leave us or not. In fact, this is how we ensure that we don't get left, because everyone respects such maturity and strength. What that person will do in that case is his responsibility, and we have taken ours by following the path of truth. At that moment, we gain freedom because we do not depend on our own or other people's reactions, whatever they may be. And if that person really leaves us, the suffering and consequences we could feel will be less and less the longer we walk the path of truth, because the truth protects us from suffering. It is self-love, staying on the path of truth and believing that it will lead us to a better place just because we have behaved correctly. For example, we have determined in our heads the path we would like to take, which school to finish, where we would like to get a job, how much money to earn, what kind of partner to find, and how many children to have. And everything that deviates from our plan brings us suffering. And we tell ourselves that's why we have problem. In this way, we would like to control that our life always unfold as we wanted and imagined, and then we would be happy. And if our life does not unfold as we would like, then we are unhappy or dissatisfied. What do you think is the chance that life will turn out exactly as we wanted, and that we will be genuinely and permanently happy? That's why the problem is our need for control, not life itself. And if the previously mentioned person leaves us, maybe it should not have been in our lives in the first place, and we force it out of fear of loneliness. Who knows what awaits us next? We just have to have the courage to be correct, and thus we will find our own path on which and with whom we should be. We just have to have faith in our path, to take the first step without knowing where the path is leading. And we determine our path through logical interpretations of our life events. Life teaches us every day if we are only willing to listen, let go of our need for control, and the dissatisfaction will disappear on its own. Let's joyfully accept everything that life gives us, and just ask ourselves what it wants to teach us and what fear we must become aware of. Because control does not exist. Control is an illusion. The ego does not like reality. It always sees reality better or worse than it is, never as it is. And he is always stressed and angry, distrustful, and even paranoid. Reality causes him suffering, because he always has his idea of reality, and that is why he has to suffer. So, out of weakness, he ignores reality, because he is afraid of it. Life without beliefs and fear is not possible. Life without suffering is not possible. If the stated we have not experienced ourselves, and we can only understand as much as we have experienced, it is hard to accept it as a possibility, let alone as a reality. It is an illusion that we create ourselves, which depends on how quiet our ego is, rather how much we can comprehend. And just as much as we can comprehend, that's how big our reality is, no more nor less. For some, it is as small as the shoes that don't fit, and for someone, it is bigger than the universe. A life without beliefs, suffering, and a life in full awareness is possible if only we want it, if it is our focus. Ego, like life, is everyone's reality, and it is important to understand that we create the same reality ourselves. If we think we can do something, then we can. If we think we can't, then we won't be able to. If we think that life is not good for us, life will not be good for us. Whatever reality or illusion we choose, we will live in it. And whether we are really right or not is very easy to evaluate. If it causes us a state of ego, suffering, it is wrong. If our reality causes us a state of love, peace and happiness, we are right. So, let's accept our reality and everything that comes with it. If we don't succeed every time, it's okay. It's important to forgive ourselves for our weaknesses. Just understand that everything is fine with reality and that our perception is the challenge. In order to learn to create a gentle reality and avoid delusions, we need to learn to accept reality without the emotional reaction of the ego. All our evaluations of reality and its rejections will only lead us to suffering. If we have an emotional reaction to people who don't understand something, or the life we currently have, or even the corruption in society and the crime that's going on, we have to understand that the only problem is our rejection of that reality. Not reality itself, because no matter how we react, it will not change. If we are surrounded with negative people, it is up to us how we will react to that reality. Will we rebel against it, explaining why it is bad, or accept it and simply not let them transfer that same negativity to us? And when we comprehend reality in this way, it will become mild for us. Whatever it may be, it will not be able to affect us because we will mature enough to see the futility of arguing with reality. All our experience and inexperience create our desires. And like everything in our maturity, desires can come from ego or love. The ego creates a feeling of emptiness and the need to fill that lack with desires. For example, if we have never felt love, we may feel the desire and need for attention. Or the ego creates a desire out of need to prove and confirm value because we, ourselves, feel insufficient. For example, if society values success and beauty, we too will desire it to gain value. On the other hand, love, our soul, creates desire out of the need for knowledge and creation. If our desire comes from love and the need to create, share, or from pure curiosity, we should follow these desires. If we want to create music, a company, knowledge, art, machines, or even our own house without identifying with the object of our creation, we should certainly follow our desires. It is important to note that the desire for the experience itself is again out of love, this time for oneself. We came into this life to collect experiences, all experiences, even material ones. It makes no sense to give them up. We just cannot see confirmation of our own worth through them. As always in maturity, only the motive distinguishes between wrong and right desires. It doesn't matter what we do and want. It only matters why do we do and want something. And it is easy to distinguish between them if we are completely honest with ourselves in answering. It is not the same if we want something out of curiosity or love for the creation, or if we want something only so we could be important. Because egoistic desires will lead us to the state of ego, and desires for experience and creation, inspired by our soul and selflessness, will lead us to the state of love and clarity. So, be careful what we wish for. We might just get it. My name is Zoran Salopek, and in the next episode we will explain other ego challenges.